So, Ciara, how are you?
I'm really well, thank
Good.
you.
It's so good to. It's been 22 years? No, 21 years.
I was hoping you weren't going to work that out. Thanks.
I had one of my old. I was speaking to one of my old tutors that was at the ACM, and I had no idea that he would have remembered me. And he said, "Yeah, of course I remember you. It would be good to catch up. It's been 20 something." I was like, "Shit." I didn't think I'd get to an age where I had memories that I could recall with such clarity that were 20 years old.
Yeah,
It's fucking hell, Jesus! Can someone stop it?
I know. Please just stop the time. I actually went to ACM for a visit.
Yeah.
When was it? I don't know, a month ago, maybe
Okay.
less. And John Duff, I don't know if you remember him, the drum
Mhm.
teacher,
Mhm.
still there,
Yeah.
looks the same. And he just
Yeah.
looked at me and was like, "You, well, how do you recognise me? I looked like
I
a
guess.
goth back then."
Yes. I guess. They must have so many people come through the door that the ones they must see the ones that like yeah that they're gonna do all right. They'll be okay. So they probably just remember. They probably keep. I don't know. I keep half an eye on my old students just to see what they're up to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't see any reason why. I mean, you were one of the prominent drummers that you turned up every Friday. You learnt the songs. You did a good job, and that's I think that's all they ask of you.
Fridays used to scare me big time though. Oh, I
Why?
hate it. I just got really, I don't know, I found it really, really intimidating. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I always was a bit, oh no, we've got to play. People are watching.
Yeah. I mean, the first
Might
couple of
screw it
times.
up.
Yeah, I think the first song we did was "Say a Little Prayer."
Yeah, how can you remember this?
I don't. I think I've still got my old pad, and I flick through it every now and again. It's like week one was "Say a Little Prayer," and I just remember it vividly. Getting up and having to perform. And I think I got up. I was one of the last people to get up, and I thought, no, just do it. And yeah, it's just nervous. Your hands don't work, your head doesn't work. It's like I don't know how
Yeah,
to play any of this. But I think that's the good thing about it is it puts you in those positions where you're gonna have to do that when you leave and you start working.
yeah, yeah. It was a really good thing to do, as much as I remember it just being a whole, being a bag of nerves every week. It was good to
Yeah.
do it.
And so, what have you been up to since in the last 20 years? Give us a quick rundown.
Okay. I've done a lot of touring. I did a lot of tours in the UK with a singer, Stephanie Dawson. That was really fun. And I've always been in a million bands, as we all are,
Yeah.
and did a lot of UK stuff. I did some cover band stuff. And then I did some theatre gigs, terrifying, but
Yes.
good, good to do. And you know how one gig leads to another thing and then another thing. So I
hmm
ended up playing a show. It's like the 12 tenors. So it was 12 singers. And
Yeah.
I was the drummer. And I did a tour around Germany for about 3 months. And then I did it
Nice.
again. And then I did another one job for them. And then I've done loads of like original bands, loads of that,
hmm
loads of gigs in London, over that
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And then always been teaching as well. Like I've always taught
Okay.
drums anyway, like pretty soon after I could play, I don't know, for a year maybe, I just
hmm
started teaching other people. So that's always been a theme. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll teach here and there. And then I got pregnant and I was still in about three bands.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, nothing's going to change, right? I'm
Yeah.
just going to carry on.
And how was that? What was that like when that reality came around to roost or came home to roost?
Oh, it's just funny. It's just so funny how I was convinced and I was telling the other band members, it's going to be fine. Nothing's going to
Mm.
change, I promise. And how wrong I was.
Yeah.
Just to, I ended up moving and you're looking after a baby. So there's no chance I'm going to go to rehearse. And I didn't want to. And that was the biggest thing. I didn't want to. I wanted to just figure out being a mum and having that downtime to recover as well.
Yes.
But it was a bit of a, can we swear?
Yeah.
It was a bit of a head fuck in terms of identity at that time, because I've just known for drumming and that's what I've done. And now I don't do it. I'm just, I'm looking after this baby. What does that mean? I think I spent too long on that, overthinking that. Anyway, long story short.
And then you had another one.
I had another one. And that's been brilliant. And I shouldn't have worried, because I did join another band. And then I ended up teaching at a school, and then I've done private teaching, and now I'm doing drum clinics, and now I'm doing drum camps, and it's all brilliant.
I've
all worked out, really.
Yeah, I know. I've seen some of your posts about your drum camps and your drum clinics. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's specifically for women?
Mostly the drum camps are.
Okay.
I have done mixed ones, and I will do mixed again, but the demand is higher for just women.
Just women only. How is it, see if I can phrase the question properly. Has there been any knockback from doing women only drum camps from men? Yeah,
I've definitely had a few comments that I'm being sexist.
Yeah.
That's basically the common comment.
That's it.
That's it, is I'm being sexist. and then actually I had one lady say, "What do you think you're doing? You're setting us back again, da 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 da."
Okay.
And so I invited her to come and said, "Why don't we come along before you judge?" I've had a few not great feedback, but it's not for them.
That's always the great argument when you have something like this, whether it's for men, whether it's for females, whether it's a film, whether it's music, just it's not for you. I didn't make it for you because you're clearly not in the same headspace that I'm at. So find something that is for you.
Yeah, and it's not coming ever. If people know who I am, they know it's not coming from a place of I'm not trying to separate, and I'm not trying to be hating on guys. I'm just trying to create a nice vibe for women to hang out together and drum together. That's it.
Yeah. And I think if you come from a position of if you're genuine and if you're there purely to teach and to inspire and for people to learn, then I think everybody, well, with the exception of the very small minority, everybody kind of appreciates and can just tell that you're coming from a place that's genuine and you do care, and it's coming from a place of love.
Yeah.
And I think
100%.
I think people recognise that. I think most people recognise that. There'll always be people who shout, "What happened to International Men's Day?" as they bang their head on the wall. But
yeah, I found that it at the beginning it was tough to take, and you doubt yourself a little bit. But now I just think I just don't listen to that many people's opinions, and that's really working because you can't. I mean, who cares if 70-year-old Bruce is really offended that I'm running a drum camp for women? Maybe women shouldn't play drums. You just got to kind of carry on with what you're doing if it's what you believe in.
Yeah. And so how long have you done it for?
I've done it for about a year and a bit. Yeah.
Okay. And now every couple of months?
Yeah. Yes. I'm having a few months off right now because I've just done one. But I've got every other month kind of thing from the summer.
Yeah.
Sometimes every month. It's a bit busy this year, but
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So what's the kind of the format? Is it you 20 odd women descend down on a small hall and you're all just doing rudiments? Do you learn songs? Is it technique based? Is it theory based?
It's all of it. Yeah, a bit of everything. It's only 8 women because
Yeah.
I want to be able to help each person. It's really important that every person gets a bit of just time with me and I can just see what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do beginners, I do beginner to intermediate, I do intermediate, I do advanced.
Okay.
And we do technique, we do songs, we do coordination, independence. I
Nice.
try and just do it all and just try and fit it in.
Okay.
Somehow.
Is it a day, a weekend?
It's a weekend.
A weekend. Okay.
Yeah.
And here's a good question, I think, is whenever you put out, I'm going to do advanced lessons, are you afraid that, Taylor Hawkins is going to turn up and go, right, let's go. And you go, shit. Okay.
A little.
Because when I put advanced guitar students, I'm terrified that someone's going to turn up and be like the next, Guthrie Governor. And I'll be like, right, I think actually you need to go to the guy next door.
That has been in my head, but I've done a lot of, thinking and contemplating this kind of stuff. And I always come back to the point of there's a reason they've signed up.
Yeah.
They need help with something. And I just need to figure out what that is. I don't necessarily have to be better or play better than them. Yeah. I just need to be able to help them achieve what they want.
Yes.
And then that takes the pressure off immensely because I don't have to be Taylor Hawkins because I'm not him. So being able to just go, I'm okay. I can do this. If you come to me and you want advanced jazz soloing, then I'll say that go to someone else. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I try to just not freak out.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of my own fear-based insecurities just coming to the surface. I'm curious that if does anybody else suffer that, because I do get kind of self-conscious about things, especially when I put things like advanced lessons, or you can have advanced techniques and you get someone turn up that's really fucking good and you kind of think, oh no, maybe I shouldn't put advanced down on my advert.
Yeah.
But I guess that's fear ruling the roost, and you shouldn't really let that motherfucker take over.
That's it. And I understand it because I definitely, that's in my mind that I've got an advanced camp later on in the year. Yeah. So that is in my head like, oh, you better make this one good, Ciara.
Yeah.
Come on. But then I just remind myself, it's okay. You know what you're doing. I know what I'm doing. There's a reason they've signed up. And you got to just trust yourself, isn't it? Just trust. And also just be authentic. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm going to make you this person. I'm saying I can help you with some advanced things.
Yes. Cool. And so are you still gigging frequently?
No, not frequently at all. I gig only here and there just because my schedule doesn't allow for it at the moment. And the band I play with, they play really lovely gigs in Paris.
Oh, nice.
But it's just like every few months or, not that much. So that's cool with me for now.
And that sits nicely around family life.
Yeah. Yeah, it sits really well. I don't know if that is always going to be the case because I definitely miss it.
Yeah.
But
that was my next question. Do you miss it?
Yeah, I totally miss it. Well, I'll tell you what I miss. I miss gigging with an originals band. That's what I miss. Yeah. I don't miss covers so much.
Yeah.
I miss that. And so I think at some point I will get back to it, but not yet. Maybe in a few years when the kids are older. So,
as someone, as a teacher and a drum clinician, how's your practice routine? What does it look like these days? Do
My
you
practice,
practice?
I don't practice loads. I do not.
Okay.
It's more, I grab the time when I have it. So in between lessons, mainly is what I'm doing, which is better than I used to teach in my house. And when I was teaching in the house, I didn't practice hardly ever because it was too disruptive for the
Yeah.
family and too
Yeah.
loud. So now that I'm here, I'm in the garden.
Okay.
I'm practicing a lot more, which is lovely, but it's not too structured. It's just when I can, I'll play. And it might
Yeah.
be, I want to do some creative. I just want to see where it goes. It might be, actually, I really need to sort out my independence here. I'm working on this thing and I want to be able to keep my hi-hat going. So that's it. It's not very, it's not very strict at the moment, but I'm also okay with it.
That's a good thing to have is being okay with it not being kind of, I don't know, maybe not as structured as it once was when you were 19, or I think just finding time to just work on little bits every now and again, because if you find yourself with 5 minutes downtime and you've got 5 minutes to work on something, you're now 5 minutes better at whatever it was than you were 5 minutes ago.
Yes.
That's kind of always the way I've looked at it. If you could just cram in a quick 2 or 3 minutes here just to do something, then you're 2 or 3 minutes better than you were.
I couldn't agree more. I think so many people get bogged down with well, I don't have an hour anymore,
Yeah.
and they make it this big thing. When you're making it a big thing, then it becomes harder to do. If you're just doing it as and when, you're right, it will build up, and that's what counts, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just time spent. Don't make excuses.
Yeah.
Just do it.
And so do you have little practice pads around the house that you can run on?
Oh no, I don't. I don't actually. I just have them here
Right.
behind me. But when I'm in the house, it's like different space. It's like
Right. Okay.
mumming, not much space for drumming. But I do a lot of mental prep in the house. So I'll write some stuff down, or I'll think about this idea and go, okay, let's do that when I'm here.
And are the kids musical?
Fairly. Like I've
Good.
tried to teach them drums, and the older one, Quinn, every time she's like, no, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. It's this. And she'll play. And then if we have friends here and they want to have a go on the drums, then she'll come and she'll be like, yeah, let me do it. But because I'm here in the garden, they don't get to come in as much. So,
Okay.
but Quinn is now she's playing bass.
Okay.
She's playing bass at school.
Nice.
And Indy, the younger one, she's 4. She likes music, but she'd rather dance. She told me she just wants to be the dancer of a band.
That's cool. I mean, do they listen to music the same way that you listen to music?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. They're more about lyrics.
Right. Okay.
But
they listen to music. Do they listen to? They listen sort of intently, and they listen for pleasure, and they listen because they want to listen.
I'm not even sure they're doing that. I think at this stage it's more they recognise songs from school,
Right. Yeah.
and then they actually both really love Miley Cyrus's new album and the summer vacation. So they will ask Google for that. I want to say it too loud.
Okay.
They'll say that.
Yeah. So that's kind of the. Go on.
But I don't feel like, I don't know how they're listening, but it doesn't appear like they're really going, I can hear all of the, the instruments here and da-da-da-da-da. I think they like the melodies and one particular song they'll sing along to,
Yeah. No, that's because I don't know what it's like with your students, but I'm finding that so many guitar students don't listen to music. I ask them, what music do you listen to? And they go, I don't listen to music. I was like, so why are you having music lessons? So that was the question. So they listen to music the same way that they would watch TV. They listen to music the same way they read a book. It's a thing that's present. It's in the house. They put it on. They request it. They do it themselves, or they'll watch music or listen to music on iPads and stuff.
Yeah,
But I don't know if you have a similar thing with drum students not listening to music.
100%.
And I don't understand it because music is now free and no one's listening to it.
Oh, I know. Oh, the irony. It's awful.
I don't get it.
Yeah, a few. I found that more with how do I put this? With younger students or students that I felt were coming to me not because they wanted to necessarily, more because it was possibly an after-school activity that their parents thought would be good. I found it more likely that those children might say, I don't really listen to music, I do gaming. So then I'll try and find a song from the game, and try and, come on, I've got to try and hook you in somehow. Yeah. But on the whole, I think these days, my students are a bit older, so I don't have that problem as much. And I can usually find a song that people will like. Yeah. But it's tough. It's tough if they're not listening to music.
I don't understand. Yeah, like I said, I don't understand why people aren't listening, especially if they're taking music lessons, and especially as music is so accessible and it's essentially free.
Yeah.
It's baffling. Baffling.
I'm with you.
So what do we do to combat it? Because I've done the usual, like, okay. So I've set people, like, the end of a lesson, said, all I want you to do between now and our next lesson is I want you to find one song that you like and you bring it in. That's it. It's a struggle to do that sometimes. Sometimes they'll bring it in, they go, here's a song I like, and I'll put it on, I listen to it, I go, what is that? And they go, oh, it's from a TikTok video. And it'll be a 30-second snippet. Yes. Like, it's not a song, it's just a snippet of a thing with okay, let's try again. But then other kids will come in and they'll be like, here's a list, and they'll write a page of music out. It's like, brilliant. I'm not really interested in what's written. I just want to see something written. And so I've got something to work with.
Yes.
And I know that they listen.
Yes.
So how can we combat it?
Well, I think sometimes it's good to do a game. So what I sometimes do is, in fact, I'll show you. I've got like a box here. I've got a box and I've got loads of pieces of paper, and in the paper is just songs that I like and I think would be easy to drum to, and I just get them to pick one out, open it. One of them will say bonus ticket, and so the bonus ticket they get to choose. And so if they have no idea, then I will obviously help them out. But I feel like making it a game can open them up to hearing new songs they hadn't heard before, and then teaching them a new beat that maybe they wouldn't have got to before. And it's not, because I feel like you can just come to a dead end if you say, find me a song. Oh, I'll be waiting a long time because they won't give me one. Right. So then I just think, right, you know what? We're just going to make this a game, and I'm just going to introduce you to loads of songs this way. Mm-hmm. That's all I've got. That's all I've got.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting way of doing it. It's and do you find that constantly working on repertoire, you can find that lessons get a bit stale? Do you find that people, especially if they don't practice or play at home, and you find yourself just going over the same thing over and over? Well, how do you combat that? I'm so aware of that, and I try not to do it. So if exams is a good example. So if a student wants to do an exam and it's taking a long time to get them to the place where I think, okay, you're ready, then we will go hard at it, and I'll be kind of strict to the point where we'll learn it and we'll try and improve and tweak it so it's getting better and better. But if I can see that they're losing interest, then I'll just try and take a break. Yeah. And just make it fun.
So one lesson we'll do grades. The next lesson we're not going to do it at all.
Yeah.
The next lesson maybe we'll do something else. Give me a song you like. If there's no, oh, I like this song,
Yeah.
then I will figure something out and say, well, let's do this. Let's try and do some cool foot patterns or whatever. So I always try and keep it changing a lot,
Okay.
which can be challenging.
I've found that I've got, particularly with students that I know practice and I know do the work, I really enjoy having them. They come in, they sit down, and I just pull a chart out and go, you got 2 minutes, look over the chart, and then we're going to play it. I love doing that with some of my advanced students.
That's awesome.
It's there's no prep for it. It's just like, you've got 2 minutes. Make sure you can play all the chords. You've got any questions, just ask any questions. If you can't read that or you don't know how to play E flat minor 7 flat 5, and we'll look at it. But yeah, so it's almost like you're putting them in a little session situation. It's like, and now we're gonna play it. Let's see how you do.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, and I found it very. They almost feed off it a little bit of pressure, and a little bit of you're under the clock, you're under the hammer, so to speak. But
yes,
the kids that never fucking practice, it's just the same. Okay, so you still can't do the C to the F change. Okay, yeah. I either just hammer them for 30 minutes. So you're just going to play C to F for 30 minutes. That's because you haven't done it. But yeah, so the other thing I want to talk about is getting better. I want to know, what does that mean to you, getting better?
I think it means something different to when I was 19.
It always does. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. When I was 19, I wanted to just do really fast double pedal at 200 beats per minute. Yeah. And now I don't really care about that.
Can you do that though? Can you do double pedals at 200?
Not now. Hell no.
No.
Back then, it was within sight for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Not now. I don't practice it. I don't use double pedal as much as I used to.
Okay.
So, tell me the question again.
What does getting better mean to you?
Okay.
Today. What does it mean to you today?
Getting better today means being more present in when I'm playing, and being in purely in the moment, and being able to play what's in my head. Okay. That is it.
I think that's kind of the holy grail of every musician. Can you play what you're hearing in your head? Yeah.
No. I feel like it's always been a battle, an internal battle of quietening the voice and the doubt, and becoming more accepting of who I am and where I'm at.
Yeah.
So then in the moment, there's not as much fear to get in the way, and I can just try and play something and be okay with it, and not being that analytical mode all the time. Like, oh, that was a bit crap, or that bass drum was shit, or who's that over there? God, he probably thinks you're shit, Trying to get as far away from that place as possible is my goal these days.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how has it changed? Like you said, getting better when you were 19 was trying to do double pedals at 200. Was there like a transition between wanting to do it and then just like, or was there a day where you went, nah, fuck it, I'm not going to do that anymore?
I think my music taste changed a bit, or expanded a bit, because back then I did listen to a lot of metal, and I don't listen as much now. Joining at more bands changed all of that, because there was not too much time to practice double pedal, and I was just practicing stuff that I was going to have to gig or record. So that became my focus, and like important stuff to me, like playing to a click. You need to get really good at that right now.
Yeah.
And I think just caring less about outside opinion. This is a theme, isn't it? But that has really been huge for me. really has. Like, always at gigs or anything I would do, I'd have this like fear of, I don't know, not being good enough, and always was like seeking validation, like, oh, is this okay, and asking, is this all right, and always being worried all the time. And I don't know, the past few years I'm just kind of letting that go, because I can just see how it's stopping me progressing.
Yeah.
And just listening to people.
It's always that internal monologue is always, and it certainly is for me. It's just a massive roadblock. And just as you get older, as I've gotten older, just learning to let go and not care about what people think, but also trying to find the things that you like, that you want to play, that makes you happy, rather than thinking, if I play this, how will that, what response will I garnish from other people? And letting go of that, and then that's when you start to find your own style, your own voice, your own playing. And I think learning and nurturing that, I think, is as important, if not more important, than sitting there, constantly with a click, constantly, or running up and down scales, or running through paradiddles and upping the tempo. And can I play it as fast as that guy on Instagram? Letting go of that was massive, because I could never focus on one thing. It'd be like, I'll do a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, do a little bit of that. Oh, I see that. Oh, I saw that on Instagram. Got to do that. A little bit of that. And like nothing. There was never any progress. It was just too many little things to work on. And letting go of it and thinking, right, fuck it. I'm just going to try and find what do I like to listen to, and how do I replicate that on my instrument?
Yes. I feel like that's so important. It's so important. And I don't know. I think I don't want to diss music college, but you're coming from a place where you're being taught about everything, every genre. You've got to be able to do this. You've got to be able to do this. And actually, there are some musicians out there who are still talking about it. So I'm not going to name names, but I went to this show.
Go on. No, name it.
No. And this drummer was talking about, you got to always be able to do everything, because the call might not come. And it was from this place of like scarcity, and like, you need to be able to do it all. And I just thought, oh, why are you saying that to young drummers? It's not realistic, dude. Like, what you've just said is going to be more impactful, I think, because you can firstly discover way more about who you are, how you learn, what you like, and what you're going to contribute to the world by finding out what you love to do. And the more you do what you love to do, the better you're going to be at it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, how many times have you been called to do a show because of who you are and the way you play? Not because you could do everything, but because, we'll get that person in. We'll call Ciara because she came in, she did it last time, she did a great job. We loved having her around. She did the job, she learnt the tunes. Let's call her back.
Exactly.
You don't get a phone call because, well, unless, I don't know, fucking hell, unless you're on a show that does everything, you don't get called because you can play everything. You get called because you can play the thing that you play and you do it well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Not that you can play 200 BPM. Yeah. No one gives a shit.
Yeah, I think, again, the only people that give a shit, well, let's say 200 BPM double kick drums, the only people that give a shit are other drummers.
Yeah.
I've never heard a singer go, we really need a drummer that can do those double kick drums at 200. People are like, I like that drummer because, I don't know, they hang back a little bit, and I just like that feel. And it's that.
Yeah.
It's feel.
It's feel, and they're nice. They're not a dick.
They're nice. Yeah. They
turn up on time. They turn up on time. They do the job.
Yes. And I think that's what everybody wants. Not just MDs, not just singers, not just artists. I want a drummer that turns up on time. They know how to set their kit up. They haven't forgotten anything. They've learnt the songs. Because the worst thing, and I hate that, I spoke to somebody about this, it's like, how many fucking times have you done a gig and everyone sort of sat down in the green room, go, do you mind if we cut out this song because I haven't learnt it? And you're like, you fucking asshole, because I have learnt it.
Yes.
And you just haven't. It's like, I don't want to hire those people. I don't want to work with those people, regardless if I'm booking them or if I'm just playing with them.
Yeah.
So learn the fucking songs.
It's an asshole move.
Yeah, it's a dick move. The other thing I want to talk about is, what do you think isn't being spoken or taught about that you think really should be? I know we kind of alluded to it, but is there anything else, or you want to expand on it?
I feel like some of these mental battles should be spoken about more.
Yeah.
And confidence.
Yeah.
How to build confidence in players. I feel like I wish that was taught a bit more, encouraged, or just someone said, this is the time to make all the mistakes, or don't worry about making mistakes, guys. Maybe they said it, but I didn't feel it. I didn't feel safe to make the mistake. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a whole, and maybe that's a woman thing as well. I know there's definite differences in confidence between the sexes. So that's interesting to me. But I feel like we all do have the same fears to a certain extent, like the voice inside. And I wish that was spoken about a little bit more. Drawing a bit of a blank.
Yeah.
But
well, no, I think
identity as well. Like, here's a question for you. If you don't gig, do you feel that you can say you're a guitarist? Or do you feel like, no, I have to gig? Or I'm done?
That's a good question. Well, if I was to stop gigging today and then in a year's time ask myself that question.
Yeah, and it's not like, I'm never gigging again. It's just at the moment I'm not going to gig. I'm going to just teach and do other stuff.
Yeah, I had that this year. I think over the last 12 months, the number of people calling me up for gigs has decreased. And thank God that I started doing my own little trio, because the number of phone calls that I got decreased rapidly. And you get that, why isn't the phone ringing? Why have people stopped calling? Well, not stopped, but why am I not getting the call from that person anymore? And and then you start to ask yourself, why am I not? Did I piss them off? Did I do a bad job? I don't think I did. No one said anything. There was no disaster. But yeah, if I stopped playing completely, I would still call myself a guitar player. Yeah, because I can play, and I know I can play, and because I can still impart wisdom and knowledge to people that want to listen and learn. So yeah, absolutely. I would still consider myself a musician if I didn't play live.
Good. I feel like there's a gap there in education where, I don't know, it was like you got to go and either be a recording session person, or you got to tour the world, or maybe be a theatre drummer. Like, whereas there are other ways you can still make a living as a musician.
Yeah.
And I think all ways should be encouraged, especially if you're juggling family life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I still do.
I'm not going to go on tour. Oh, there you go.
So, and it fits wonderfully around family life, because as soon as kids are in school, I can drive off to whichever school I'm at that day, and I teach for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. And yeah, I don't harbour any negative critique of myself because I still do Perry teaching, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. In fact, I actually prefer teaching children to adults because they're a little bit more malleable and they're not quite stuck in their ways. I prefer teaching children, particularly primary school children. I just find it more enjoyable. and I enjoy
Yeah.
teaching as well. And I think there's a lot of people that do teach that do it purely for money. And I think those are the people that kind of, I think, not necessarily look down on teaching, but don't see it as a musician's trick or an arsenal in their tool bag or a string to their bow. It's just like, oh, you just teach, is that it?
Oh yeah, I have such a problem with that attitude because I feel like it's such a gift. You're starting someone on their journey,
Yeah.
and that can have a massive effect on them, And I just think,
Yeah. In fact, I do a lot of cover teaching for people, and I go in, and the first thing I'll do with a new student is I say, let's get your book out, and I scan through everything that the teacher's been doing with them. And some of the shit that I see, I'm like, what the fuck is that? Oh, someone come to me for, I said, how long have you been playing? They said, oh, about 2.5, 3 years. Like, cool, all right. Can you play me a G chord? No. Why not? I said, oh, I don't do chords. I was like, what do you mean you don't do chords? He said, no, but I'll play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star across one string. I was like, well, that's fucking useless, really. No one's ever asked me to play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Play a fucking G chord. And I've gone back to like the agencies or the council things that I do this work for. I was like, you've got to have a look at some of your teachers because this is, and I'd send them the sheets back. I take photos of it. I said, this isn't good enough. This is really, really poor. Nothing ever gets done. But yeah, no, I do like teaching, and I care deeply about it because I think it's really important. So, fuck those people that say it's not. So how about you? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I feel, well, for a time there, I was feeling a bit like, oh God, can I still say I'm a drummer? Because I wasn't gigging and, mothering. But now I just think that was complete and utter bollocks. And I can play drums and I can teach drums. And that's what I do. It doesn't matter if I take a break. It doesn't matter if I don't gig. This is what I know. This is the thing I've probably done the longest for in my life. So I think if anyone has an issue, again, that's their thing. It says more about them. And I think that was me worrying far too much about what other people thought. Yeah. And that really awful thing about, oh, well, once you've got kids, career's down the toilet,
It makes it harder, but it's not impossible.
No, you just need to work it out. Like, I feel like the most confident and on top of my career ever now, which is insane.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've got older and wiser, isn't it? So
that's what it is.
Like, well,
unfortunately, those lessons can't be taught. You've got to live through them. You've got to work through them.
Yeah. And just have a good set of people around you as well.
Yeah, and the other thing is everybody has had a teacher at some point, whether it was formal lessons or you've been on a gig or a session or something, and someone has said, instead of doing X, why don't you try doing that? Like everybody, like teachers are just important throughout our lives. So yeah, I don't beat myself up about too much teaching, but I don't have anyone over the house anymore. I just found that too fucking stressful. So yeah, I just do it all at school. And
nice.
It fits in perfectly around family life.
Yeah.
And when's your next drum clinic?
Well, I might be doing something in Bristol at some point, but we haven't cemented that down. But I've got loads of camps coming up in the summer. So that's when it's all shit's gonna kick off.
And do people come to your studio, or do you hire a venue?
For the camps, I hire a venue near me.
Yeah.
I could do it in here, but it's like my house, so I'm trying to keep it separate.
Stay away. All right.
But I'll hire a place.
Cool. I mean, it was lovely to sit and chat with you for a bit, and it was so cool to catch up after all these years. And it's really nice to see someone who's come out of the college and made it and is doing it and working and they haven't given up.
Ah, you too. You too. Thank you for
Yeah.
inviting me on in the first place.
That's okay.
Keep up the good
It was cool.
work.
I will do. I will do. So thank you very much. It was really cool to catch up, and thank you for, spending the time and taking your time out of your day to come and talk shop.
No worries. Thank
Cool.
you.
Thanks.